Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the new movie Ballerina, which is a prequel to John Wick Chapter 4. This is a spin-off from the John Wick series, focusing in on a young girl whose family was taken from her at a very young age, who is trained to become a super assassin. And this movie focuses in on her early career whenever she uncovers something from her past that she cannot shake. I went into this movie knowing that there was a lot of drama about its production. Right from the jump, I was concerned about this film based off of the director that they hired, Les Weissman. No disrespect towards him. I know he made a good TV show, whose name escapes me right now. But respectfully, the movies that he's made in the past have not been great. He made two Underworld movies. His best movie is a Die Hard sequel that was released like over 15 years ago, and his most recent movie was the Total Recall remake in 2012. So he's 13 years removed from that. Has made one movie that was well received relatively. So I had concerns about this, and apparently they went back and basically reshot the whole movie with the John Wick director. So I was very concerned that this movie was going to be kind of hodgepodge together, not very good. I want this franchise to succeed, so I was really hoping that wasn't the case. So let me get into what I liked, what I didn't like about the movie, and my final score. First things first, this should come as no surprise, but the action is the best part of this movie. I had heard that apparently, originally, the John Wick director went back to reshoot the third act to make it more action-centric, because apparently the first cut of this movie had not as much action in it. Thank goodness he did, because the action here is far and away the best part of the entire film. It's at breakneck speed. It is brutal. It is very clear this is in universe with John Wick. I'm pretty sure the Ballerina uses every possible weapon known to man in this movie. She uses everything. She uses, of course, a gun. She uses ice skates. Nothing is off limits. A flamethrower. She uses everything in this movie. And they did a good job of setting up at the beginning of this movie, whenever Ana de Armas's Ballerina is training, that she's never going to overpower somebody, and she needs to reshape the terms of the fight to her strengths, because in this world she's going to be fighting a lot of men that are way bigger than her, and if she thinks that she's just going to punch them, knock them out, and have the fight be done, she's never going to win. But she's going to play up to her strengths to beat these guys at the game that she's playing, not them. I thought that was very clever, and it's something that a lot of action movies don't really do with a protagonist like this. So I thought that was very clever, very well done. Ana de Armas, I thought was very good as the Ballerina. I'm a fan of hers. I was worried coming into this because she hasn't had that many leading roles in movies. I know that she was in Blonde a few years ago, but that's obviously a very different type of movie. She was very good in the most recent James Bond movie, No Time to Die, as a side character. So I was really curious to see if she could carry a movie on her own, and I'm happy to say that she did. I mentioned before that they originally went back to reshoot the third act, and I'm very thankful that they did, because they did it against a snowy backdrop, and I'm a sucker for movies in the snow. There's something about blood and snow that just really gets me going in a movie theater. I loved the backdrop of just this old town, and I think it was Switzerland, or somewhere on that section of the world. I thought that they used the backdrop very well. I thought it was shot really well. I thought that the concepts with the fighting in the third act were great. I mean, at this point, the director of the John Wick movies knows how to shoot action, and that's no different here. Now, the next point I think could be a pro and a con, so I'm going to use it as a transition from my pros to my cons. For the movie basically to have had two directors and one of them, basically reshoot the whole movie, I think that it's impressive that I even liked the movie. A lot of times whenever you have competing voices in there, a director coming in and changing up one director's original vision, it can be pretty dicey. I know I can probably name on one hand the number of times that it's turned out well. Like World War Z, the movie with Brad Pitt, that's a case where that happened, and I can't really name another one. So for this movie to have basically been hodgepodge together, I thought was very impressive that it was even coherent or even good. However, there are moments when you can tell that there are competing voices, and you're watching like two different visions for what this movie was going to be. Two pretty different tones from sort of the beginning of the movie to the second and third acts of the film, which I thought they went together pretty well, but as someone that knew kind of what went into making this movie, or, I read rumors, right? I don't know. I wasn't on set, but as someone that was familiar with the production of this movie, there were moments where I was like, yeah, this is one scene that they overhauled for sure. So there were definitely times where I thought it was a little bit clunky and the story like had riffs in it. You know what I mean? It wasn't quite a smooth ride. It was a little bumpy, but all things considered, I thought they did a decent job. But kind of going into my cons, the plot here, it's pretty stereotypical. It's not that engaging to me, or it wasn't to me that engaging. The villain is like, again, very mustache twirly. Didn't think he was all that great. Sort of just like the stereotypical big bad old guy, right? Like we all hate him. You know the guy. He's in one movie a month. At this point, it's the same guy. It's the old dude who thinks he's all powerful, and we need our protagonist to go in there and kill his ass. My French there, but you guys all know what I'm talking about. We've all seen this villain before. So, I mean, the plot is a means to an end. It's a means to get to the next big fight scene, and the fight scenes are awesome. So, you know, I didn't go to see Ballerina for its great plot, but if I'm comparing it to the other movies in this universe, the 4 John Wick movies have great action, and I'm engaged with the plot. So I know that they can do this, but I understand this movie was, I keep using this term, hodgepodge together, so I'm kind of giving them a pass that it was even good. But yeah, the plot wasn't awesome. There was also a specific instance in this movie where sort of one of the bad people takes a turn, right, with some context on the history that she has with the ballerina, and I just didn't buy it. It seemed pretty quick for someone to turn on what they've believed in their entire life. I just didn't buy it. It felt pretty hastily done. And there's another time where sort of a character, I guess, is spared, which I don't think is very in universe with John Wick. It felt like they kind of kept this person along so that they could have the ending that they want, where if I was watching John Wick 3, then that person probably would have been killed, like, on the spot. So there were a couple of inconsistencies like that in the movie, and I don't mean to keep comparing it to John Wick, but the thing is, whenever the title is Ballerina from the universe of John Wick or whatever it is, then you're inviting it to be compared to the rest of the John Wick movies, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more of the ballerina in a John Wick film in the future. So, yeah, I'm going to compare it to the John Wick movies, which are better. This movie isn't bad, all in all. It had a troubled production, so my hope is that they can go in and they can make another ballerina movie, but this time have a clear vision from start to finish. Have a director in there that you can trust, and give Ana de Armas another shot here, because if you can make a good movie, I liked Ballerina. If you can make a good movie with the production troubles that this had, then who knows what you can do if you have a smooth production the next go around. I just hope this movie makes enough money to be able to justify that, and I hope to see more of John Wick and the ballerina on screen together. And that's another thing I need to talk about, because John Wick in this movie was kind of a pro and a con. It's a pro because he's John Wick. John Wick is awesome. Keanu Reeves is awesome as John Wick, and it was great to see him for the first time in a couple years. But the only con is he felt kind of shoehorned in here to make sure that we know we're watching a movie that's in the universe of John Wick. So it felt a little forced, but I'm not going to complain. I'll get all the John Wick I can. And something else that they did well is they made him menacing and very clear that he could kill the ballerina if he wanted to, right? There's a scene in this movie where they kind of come to blows, and she's new, and John Wick isn't, and he can take her life if he wants, but he chooses not to. I thought that was cool. So like I said, this movie was good enough for me to want them to take another crack at the ballerina, but for now, I'm giving this movie a 3 out of 5, which I think is great, all things considered, with this production. But what did you think of the ballerina? Have you had a chance to go see it? Leave me a comment down below, and make sure that you subscribe so you can see more videos here. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.